Hi, today is Sunday, February 26, 2017, early in the morning. Is Sweden lost? I was watching and listening to Anthony Brian Logan's show last night on YouTube. And when you watch it live, there's also a chat, and I started chatting with a guy from Finland. We discussed Sweden, we discussed Norway, we discussed Finland in the chat, at the same time as we were listening to Anthony Brian Logan and the conversations he had with the callers. The Finnish guy told me that Sweden was lost, and that Norway and Finland are essentially lost too. They're just 20 years further down the road. Is he right? Yes. Or no? I don't know. The thing is, I keep on changing my mind on this topic. Because when I look at Sweden, what's going on in Sweden right now, and what's happening over there, and how Swedish politicians and Swedish mainstream media react to it, how they are sweeping everything under a rug, and how the whistleblowers, people in the media, writers, police officers, people who make their voices heard and talk about the reality they see, they get stigmatized. They are not listened to, at least not by mainstream media. Instead, they are ridiculed and stigmatized. And when I see this, and also I have a few personal friends in Sweden, and I see how they are treated by the Swedish society when they don't conform to the political correctness. When I see this, I think that Sweden is really lost. And if Sweden is lost, why on earth am I doing this? Why do I bother with spending a lot of time and energy, not so much money, but time and energy and effort on making my videos? I mean, not all of them are about Sweden, of course. Many of them are. And for one thing, I call this channel Swede Speaks, which, as I have mentioned before, is a wordplay. Because during World War II, there was a campaign in Sweden called En svensk tiger, which means, it could mean a Swedish tiger, but it could also mean a Swede keeps silent, which was what the Swedish authorities wanted people to do in Sweden: keep silent, keep quiet. If they knew anything, they shouldn't talk about it, because there could be German or Russian spies or whatever hiding around every corner or sitting beside you on the park bench, so better be quiet. And in that period of time, I understand the point of that campaign, but it has also been a way of how to describe Swedes. I say, en svensk tiger, a Swede is silent. And you can see this in Sweden. I mean, all my life I've seen this. My Swedish relatives were much more quiet. They wouldn't discuss the things that were wrong about Sweden. They would always insist that Sweden is the greatest country in the world. While my Finnish relatives, my Finnish-born grandparents and that side of my family, would be more critical of Sweden. So I, of course, thought that it had something to do with Swedes and Finns. I still sort of think that, because my experience when I have visited Finland is that it's easier to discuss these things with the Finns, but yeah, I know, Finland is also moving in a wrong direction. Which was one of the things I discussed with the Finn in Mr. Logan's chat this night. But anyhow, So, to get back to the question I asked, which I think I haven't really responded to yet. Why am I doing this? I mean, yesterday I made a video where I analyzed how the Swedish election of next year might turn out. And my guess was and is that the Sweden Democrats will be the largest or second largest party, and maybe Sweden will have a government consisting of the moderates, the Social Democrats, backed by the Sweden Democrats. I consider the chance for this happening to maybe 50%. I don't even know if this is going to save Sweden, though. And the other alternative was even worse. That was that all the other parties exclude the Sweden Democrats. They insist on nothing's wrong in Sweden. If someone outside of Sweden, for instance President Trump, or if Swedes say things about Sweden through foreign media, if Swedes who have left Sweden, people like me, talk about Sweden and point at the problems in Sweden, we are all liars. We misunderstand. We don't know what's really going on. We are misinformed, or flat out lying and spreading garbage about Sweden. And if that happens, there really isn't any hope for Sweden. Then Sweden is just turning into, well, I don't know, Detroit or something. Or, well, Islamic Detroit, or, yeah. So why do I keep on doing this then? I mean, of course I have to talk about this because it annoys me, and I have to get it out. But there's also another point. Sweden may be lost. It may be too late for Sweden. I hope I am wrong. Today is one of these days when I think that it's probably too late. I hope I'm wrong. But let's say that Sweden is lost. Sweden is still a useful example of what happens when political correctness turns into the unofficial state religion. And in Sweden, I say, political correctness, third wave feminism, and all those things, identity politics, is clashing with jihadism, with Islamism, and we know who's going to win. If you wonder about that, you could study the history of Iran. The left and the Islamists allied to depose the Shah. Then the Islamists hanged the leftists, those who weren't able to escape to Western countries. That's why most Iranians hate Islam. At least the Iranians you meet in the West, most of them. But yeah. So let's say Sweden is lost. I hope not, but let's say it is. As I said, Sweden is still a useful example. And if this means that other Western countries, I hope even Norway and Finland, but if this means that at least some Western countries turn away in time, turn away from this destruction, these destructive acts, these destructive policies, and go back to their Judeo-Christian roots and start standing for something, well, at least then Sweden did something good, but at a horrible, horrible price. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope Sweden isn't lost. And we'll just see what happens in the future. I will keep on commenting. And that's what I gotta say about this right now. As I mentioned, it's Sunday today. So if you wonder, I am not planning on making any more videos today, because today I am going to Mass to take communion. And I'll pray for Sweden. And I'll also pray for the rest of the Western world and the entire world. Well, if you like this channel, first of all, I would like to thank the people who have already donated to this channel through PayPal and through Patreon. And if you like this channel, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. Please share my videos. Please like my videos. And I would also like to encourage you to support this channel. You could do it through PayPal, you could do it through Patreon, and no amount is too small or too large. And I will include all the necessary information about that in the box below. This is A Swede Speaks. Have a nice Sunday.